everyone, my name is Nori, welcome to my channel, and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video, we're doing something that I haven't done in a very long time actually, and that is an apartment renovation. So we're in the world of San Myshuno, obviously, which is the city living world, the apartment world. And today I'm renovating a very small apartment. You can tell that this video is actually really short. Usually my videos are definitely over 30 minutes long, but this one is a little bit on the shorter side of things, but I hope that's okay because it was a pretty quick one. This is going to be an apartment for the Not So Berry challenge. And since this is going to be for a sim that doesn't have that much money to start out with when we are going to start with this generation, I do play the Not So Berry challenge over on stream, by the way, over on Twitch, which is always linked in the description box down below if you're interested, if you want to find me there. We play it every Thursday. I mean, sometimes schedule changes, but we usually play it every Thursday, and it's just so much fun. So we're currently on the orange generation, which is Gen 6, and then shortly, we'll be moving on to Gen 7, which is going to be the pink generation, and it's always just so much fun whenever it's time to almost swap over to the next generation. It just feels like you're starting a new Let's Play every time, and it's just so refreshing and so fun, and then meanwhile, you still have all the lore from the previous generations, and I just really enjoy it. It's so much fun. I've never actually played the Not So Berry challenge before. This is my first time playing it through. And I cannot believe we're actually already on Gen 7. So, or almost. We're currently still on Gen 6, but yeah, we're pretty close to starting on Gen 7, which is so exciting. So if you're not familiar, I feel like pretty much everyone at this point is familiar with the Not So Berry challenge. She's been around for a while. It's basically a 10 generation legacy challenge where each generation is based on a specific color, and you can take that as far as you'd like. You can make your entire sim that one specific color, including their skin tone if you want to. Like, you can really take it as far as you like. Me personally, I always just build houses or decorate apartments in the specific color. I do still want it to somewhat be pretty, if that makes sense. So yes, I will take that color that's supposed to be like the main color for the generation and run with it. But at the same time, I also like to kind of, you know, mix and match things, maybe use a couple of like accent colors thrown in here and there. I just think that that is so much fun. And then for my sim, usually I will give them like a hair color and like outfits in a specific color, but then still always like throw in some accent colors and just something to mix it up a little bit, but definitely focusing on the main color for the generation. That is what I like to do, and that is what I'm doing here with this apartment, obviously, as well. This, by the way, is 1321 Cheek Street. I think that's the address. I can't really see it for me. It's really small right now, but I think that's what this one is. And it's a Needs TLC apartment, so there are definitely some things in this apartment that tend to break down from time to time. I did try to keep those things accessible. It's mostly, the way I did the floor plan for this one, it's mostly in the bedroom is where we have like some pipes that sometimes leak, I think, and like a little electrical box kind of thing that sometimes breaks down. And I think those two are definitely accessible. There's also some mouse holes in different spots here in this apartment. I think there's 2 or 3 total, which I don't think those are necessarily accessible. There's one in the little hallway, the way I did the floor plan, which I think that one's going to be accessible, but the other one, I'm not exactly sure. It's going to be in the living room. I don't think so, because I placed a plant basically in front of it. So yeah, but that's okay. This is definitely not supposed to be the pink generation's forever home. I think they're definitely going to move at some point. The way this generation starts out is they're going to have a job in the business career, but then it's their lifelong dream to actually become an author. So they're gonna work on that. I think in the description for their generation, it says that they're gonna start out working hard in the business career because they kind of grew up in a not very wealthy family. So they didn't grow up with a lot of money. And they really grew up with the idea of you need to work hard to make enough money to make ends meet, and that's exactly their mindset. Her name is Wanda, by the way. Yes, it's from Fairly Odd Parents, Cosmo and Wanda. Wanda is obviously pink, so that's my name for the pink-inspired pink generation heir. Her brother, she has a twin brother, and his name is Cosmo. I mean, clearly he's not the heir, so he didn't have to be a pink sim, so we went with green for him, which is kind of funny. He's probably going to stay a side character in this Let's Play because they grew up pretty close. Their parents are, you know, kind of questionable people. They're both, or at least their dad, who is the Orange Generation heir, he is in the criminal career. They also run a very shady business on the side where they sell stolen goods. And also their business is located in Strangerville, and they sell like stuff that they steal. And there's also a little tattoo parlor attached to it, which is really cute. And then they also have like a basement where he gives like mischief classes, and he teaches people how to hack into computers and whatnot. So, you know, it's a little bit shady. And yeah, their parents are just always away. So these twins basically grew up with just each other. They're very close for that reason. And my first idea was that I wanted them to move into an apartment together, but I think that I'm just gonna move Wanda in here by herself at first. And then she's going to live here for a little while, but her being in the business career, I think she's going to make some serious money pretty quickly if we do things correctly, or if we just, you know, really try our best for the career and try to level her up pretty quick. I think that she can make some money pretty fast, and then maybe she can move into either a larger apartment or probably like a house with her brother where her brother can move in with her. And we were kind of thinking, as we were sort of brainstorming about the storyline over on Twitch, because we have businesses and hobbies now, which we already incorporated in the Orange Generation as well with their like shady business that they're running. I think it's going to be so fun, since it's her lifelong dream to become an author. I think it's going to be really fun for her to sort of run a like writer's cafe maybe, where at some point she can give like writing classes and people come over and like they pay for the classes and she gives like writing workshops and whatnot. I think that would be so cute for her to do. And then maybe Cosmo can be into, I don't know, like maybe pottery or something, and they can like live together and sort of run a business together. I think that's going to be so fun, especially since the pink generation actually is going to have the unflirty trait. So I'm not exactly sure if she's going to ever end up with a partner. I think it's just going to be her, and then maybe at some point she is going to adopt a baby, or maybe she'll have a science baby. I'm not exactly sure how to go about that, because obviously we have to keep the generations going. So she's going to have at least one child at some point. I don't think it says anything in the rules for this one specifically about the amount of children that she's allowed to have. So I think that's just up to us storyline wise to kind of see what we end up with. But since she's unflirty, I really like the idea of her. Well, I mean, she's probably going to try to date, but she just pretty quickly finds out that she just doesn't really enjoy the dating scene. She just is not really into that. She's not really longing for a partner either. She's longing for a kid at some point. She will be anyway, but yeah, she is not really into dating. She doesn't really long for a partner. So I feel like it could be fun to not focus on gameplay with a couple for a change, but just have her be a single mom, and then her brother is in the picture and they're just really close and they sort of have a family that way. Maybe Cosmo will have a family of his own, or maybe he'll also adopt a kid, or I'm not exactly sure how we're going to go about that, but I think it's going to be a pretty fun and different, for me personally, different family dynamic to sort of play with that, like two siblings being very close. And just, you know, being together, running a business. I think that's just going to be really fun for me to do. So I'm excited to try that. But yeah, here in the meantime, you can really see this apartment come together. It's pretty close to being finished already. Here in the bedroom, I used the new bed that was recently added. I think it was last week in a surprise SDX drop with some Pride items. I love this bed, especially with this bedding. It was the perfect color, obviously, for this pink inspired apartment. So I obviously had to use it in here. And yeah, I just really like the pink carpet. That's actually one of the newer base game carpets that they also recently added. I think it was the start of February where they gave us that huge update with the new base game counters and stuff, and also a lot of doors and windows and whatnot. And this carpet was one of the items that came with that update. So I used it in here. I haven't used it in a very colorful swatch just yet, so this was really fun for me to try it out this way. And then here in the living room or in the bedroom, you can see that we have those pipes and the little electrical box that will sometimes break down. I didn't place any items in front of them because gameplay wise, you know, I thought that would be nice. Normally for a purely, I guess, aesthetic build or apartment, I would definitely put things in front of it and sort of like try to hide it as you probably would in real life, you know? But since I will be actually using this for gameplay, and since lately I've sort of been focusing more on gameplay friendly builds as well, so you know, I really wanted to keep that in mind for this one as well, especially since it is for the Not So Berry challenge. Maybe other people want to use it as well for their pink generation. I think that would be so fun. So yeah, that's what I kept an eye on. And here in the bathroom, we have that little vent in the floor. That's probably not the word for it, but I can't think of another word to describe that. That sometimes I think there's like some smelly odors coming from that as well that then you can also fix, I think. And I feel like the way I laid out this bathroom, that should be pretty accessible, but I'm not sure. We'll obviously have to just, you know, test out this build whenever it comes to playing with the pink generation, and then we'll figure out how we go from there. Also, I decided that she was going to have a cat, so I placed some cat items here in the apartment as well. We have a really cute cat tree in the living room, and then obviously I had to have a litter box. And I think it's kind of funny that the litter box is literally right there by a mouse hole, so, you know, maybe that's convenient. I don't think the cats actually interact with the mice or the rats in the apartments, but I could be wrong. Like maybe they do. I don't actually know that. That would be really funny though. But yeah, I'm just placing the final few decorations and then that's it. So let's jump into the game and I'll show you this apartment in real time. So here we have the apartment in the game. I just love the different tones of pink in here. It's obviously focused on the color pink, but within the color pink, I wanted to try to use different shades and see if I could try to make that look good. And I feel like it looks okay. I really enjoy this. It's so nice and colorful and bright. So when you first walk through the front door, we just have the dining room literally right there. I was trying to go for a floor plan in this apartment, by the way, that I haven't done before. So I decided to, instead of, normally I put the kitchen and stuff like in this nook and then the living room around here somewhere, and then usually like a bedroom or two in this area. But I decided to just do something different and just go for one bedroom. So we have the dining table right here with one mismatched chair. I just thought that that was a cute accent, so I went for it. I also used this new shelf that also came with the Pride SDX drop. I love this shelf. I think it's so perfect and I'll be using it in all of my builds from now on probably. Also, there's a body outline in this apartment, which is so sketchy, and I definitely hid it here under the rug. So we're gonna pretend that she's not there, okay? It's fine. And then over on this side here is where we have the kitchen. I am seriously obsessed with that pink subway tile in the back. That is also from the recent base game update that we got a couple months ago. I am obsessed with it and I love it in here, especially with these lighter wood counters. And then gray and pink, I feel like it's just always such a good match. So the gray countertops just work perfectly. And then we have some more affordable pink appliances in here to really try to keep the cost down for this apartment a little bit, because we're not gonna probably have a lot of money to start out with for this generation. So, but we do have some cute clutter here in the kitchen as well. That is obviously also pink. I love this phone. I just think that is so cute. And then here around the corner is where we have the living room. This was the perfect spot for a cat tree, so I just placed that right there. And then the items from the Cozy Kitsch kit I feel like are so perfect in here. So I used that couch obviously in this really nice lighter pink color. The throw pillows are so cute. And then the matching fake fireplace I thought was so perfect in here. And then I really like how it combines with this chair from Businesses and Hobbies. The wood tone doesn't necessarily match anything, but I feel like that is a really nice mismatch moment there. Also, this collage is from the new base game SDX drop as well, so I had to use that in here also with the pink accents in it. There's also a small bookcase here behind the couch by the cat tree with some really cute pictures from the Comfy Gamer kit. And then obviously we had to have a nice bookcase moment in here since the sim is going to be an author. They love to write, they love to read obviously, so had to have that in here as well. And then here we just have a nice sunny corner with some large windows where I placed that nice hanging plant. Would also be the perfect spot for a cat tree, by the way, so if you wanted to place an extra one, you could always place that in the window corner there. Then Then over here is where we have a tiny hallway, which was the perfect spot for a litter box. So obviously I went ahead and did that. Then over here we have the bathroom. I had to go for a nice colorful shower tub combo this time. And this one with the pink shower curtain obviously was perfect. And then this little rug in the bathroom was just, for obvious reasons, also perfect. So I placed that in here. We have a sink, a toilet, and just a couple of knickknacks. And then over here is the bedroom. I love this bed. I think it's so fun. I love the colorfulness of it. And then obviously pink is still the main color, so that was perfect for this bedroom. I placed a couple pictures on the wall here. This really fun dresser from the new pack, which I just love that so much in that particular swatch. I also gave them a desk here, so they have a tiny little office nook to work on their writing. And then at some point when they move on to their larger home with a business attached, they'll get their like dream office for writing, obviously, at some point as well. But that is basically it for this apartment. So this not so berry pink apartment is up on the gallery as a room, which is, as we probably all know by now, just how it works with apartments. You can only upload them as rooms. So when you go to my gallery and search for rooms, you'll find it. It uses a bunch of packs though. It's definitely not a limited pack build, but it's not the worst thing I've ever done. I uploaded it as a living room and it comes in at just over 33,000 simoleons. I feel like it's not that bad really price-wise. And you can place it down in 131321 Chic Street in San Myshuno. So if you want to place it in your game, then that's where it goes. But that's going to do it for today's video. So I really hope that you enjoyed this one. You can obviously go ahead and download this apartment off the gallery. Like I just showed you, my username on the gallery is Simmery Sims. You can follow me on Instagram if you'd like. My username on there is Simmery Sims as well. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, feel free to do so. And if you'd like to get notified every single time I upload, just click that little bell icon. I also live stream over on Twitch a few times a week. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and give me a follow over on twitch.tv/Simmery Sims. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!